Hello and welcome to your practice all about lower body stability and activation. If you have a soft yoga brick, which might look a little something like this, then you're going to use it. If you don't have a brick, then you're just going to fold up something that's a bit softer than your mat. So it might be a folded blanket. We're going to use that in the practice. So let's come straight up to standing, and I'm going to invite you to place your hands around the sides of your hips. So see if you can feel, place your feet hip width distance and feel your front hip bones. You've got your SI joint here as well with the thumbs, and feel that the palms of the hands are around the glute med, also the glute minimus tissue around the sides of the body, and then the fingers are pointing down. And we're going to experience the sensation of the greater trochanter bone coming a little closer to the skin, which is what happens as our body moves from side to side. So just begin to move a little from side to side. This is a very healthy, natural movement that happens when we're walking, when we're running. But what we want to do here is have a good sense of stability, which is an awareness of how the bones are positioned for efficient movement. So hopefully you can feel this greater trochanter bone coming a little closer to the skin. Okay. And then just come and stand, look down at your feet, see that your toes are pointing forwards, lift all 10 toes and then spread them down, and then just stand for a moment, close your eyes, lift your chest, tailbone pointing towards your heels, take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Okay, and then come and stand at the front of your space, and we're going to start on our right hand side. So I'll show you front on. You're going to lift your right knee, and then you're going to step it back into a lunge. So beginning to lift the right knee, and as you do this, place your right hand on your right hip and just let your left arm land. And then as you step back to your lunge, just notice, land in your lunge and notice if your right hip kind of comes out to the side, and see if you can hug the right hip around the bone. So this is what we mean when we say the hips being level, because we have the tendency to collapse around the hip joint. So squeeze everything back into the middle and then come back up. And then you're going to extend the leg out to our warrior 3 shape. So the arms can just be however you like here, down by the sides, hands in towards your chest, and then again hug the knee in, squeeze everything in and around the bone, and then step back to your lunge, and then hands down and come back to your downward facing dog. Okay, take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. One more like this. Lift the backs of your knees and the fronts of your thighs in your downward facing dog, exhaling, and then walk your feet to your hands and come all the way up. Inhale and exhale, arms down by your sides. So we're going to do that on the left hand side. So place your left hand on your left hip. Get that position where you feel the tissue, you feel the joint, and your fingers are pointing down. And then lift your left knee up. Send your left knee back to a lunge. Notice if your left hip has come out to the left, and see if you can just bring everything back into the center. And then you can step in halfway or just drift the left foot in and pick the left knee up again. And then come back to this warrior 3 shape. But again, hips level. Everything squeezing in. And then left knee hugs in, step back, downward facing dog. Take a couple of deep breaths here. Really activate through the lower body here. So a deep breath in through your nose and a deep breath out. And then drop your knees. And we're just going to apply a little of what we've just learned, because remembering that yoga is an opportunity to just observe and learn about the body as well on our blocks. So come up to stand. I'm going to mirror you. So you're going to step your right foot onto your block or onto your blanket and place your right hand or back on your right hip. And then just allow the left foot to pick up off the block and then sag the left foot down. And just notice how you can do this without bending the knee. Notice how the greater trochanter comes out closer to the skin. So you're just picking the foot up and then letting it sag. And we're going to do this a few times. Lifting and lowering and lifting and lowering. Okay, and then just start to make some free movement with the foot. So backwards and forwards, making circles, kind of like unpredictable movement here, because what we're doing is we're training new neural pathways for the brain. So we're literally strengthening the connection between the brain and the body. Okay, and then you're going to keep your right foot on your block. From here, picking up your left knee and then sending it back, this time to a warrior 3 shape, keeping those hips level, so keeping everything in and tucked in around the bone. Extend that right leg back, let the arms relax. You can bring your hands to prayer if you wish. And then we're going to pick the the left knee up again. And then we're going to step it back. Now notice again, is your right hip dropping out to the side? Can you bring it in and lift up the torso? And we're going to do this a few times to get a little bit of activation going. So pick the knee up, warrior 3, relax the arms, pick the knee up, low lunge. And again, picking the knee up, warrior 3. Maybe you're a little bit wobbly here on your brick or your blanket, which is really normal, low lunge. And if you ever need to bring the hand back to the hip here to remind yourself, then feel free, because we don't want to collapse or sag around the hip joint too much. This is kind of like a little endurance practice here to remind us of the power of repetition and building our strength, and also noticing, keep going, how your body feels on both sides. Maybe there are things that you notice, things that you want to work on. Okay, last one. Inhaling, exhaling. Inhale, exhale. Okay. Come to your lunge, step forwards, step off your brick. Okay, just come and stand with both feet on the ground. Just notice. And then we're going to take the other side. So you're going to step your left foot onto your brick, and I'm going to act as your mirror. So get your firm foundation with your foot in the brick, and again just place your left hand on your left hip this time. Okay, and then pick the foot up Allow it to sag and drop without bending the knee. Picking it up, notice how the hips then come out of being straight and in alignment. That's it. Just a couple more times here. So if we want a longevity to our joints and to our practice, it's really helpful to have an understanding of actually what's going on. And to build strength and stability around the joints is so important. And then just bring some movement into that right leg, unpredictable movement. Crossing the body, swaying the leg around. Yes, okay. And then you're going to stay. I'm just going to turn around. And we're going to take the same thing on the other side. So picking the knee up on an inhale. And then exhale, come back to warrior 3. Arms can be nice and relaxed. Notice, are you hugging everything into the center? Is the right hand side of the hip maybe collapsing out to the side? Really common here. And then step back to your lunge. Woof. Crescent lunge. And then bend into this right knee. Again, notice which side of the hip, maybe you're collapsing into the left hand side of the hip here. And then we're going to take this a few times. Pick the knee up. Warrior 3 shape with the legs. Inhale. Step back for your lunge. Okay. Notice maybe there's a difference between your sides as to which side gets fatigued more quickly. And it's not good or bad. It's just observing different parts of your body. Keep going. Maybe this felt really challenging on one side and it feels a little bit more or less fatiguing on the other side. Keep this awareness through the hip and the thigh bone, the greater trochanter bone. Step back. Notice what happens in your lunge. Do you shift out to the left-hand side? Keep everything in the center. A couple more times. Lovely. Last one. Wonderful. Back to your lunge. Step your foot forward, step off your brick. And then we're going to come into a seated twist. So bring your right knee over your left knee. So I will mirror you. Right knee over your left knee. And then your left heel comes in towards your sitting bone. But the focus isn't so much here on the twist. Begin to turn around your body to the right. But let your left side of your pelvis and your right side of your pelvis, just let them get heavy. Because now what we want to do is allow all of the tissue around the bone, which may have got a little bit charged up and activated, just a chance to relax. So the left sitting bone and all of that tissue around the right hip, just letting everything get a little bit heavy. And then come back to center. Extend your legs out, just give them a little bit of a shake, and then you're going to step your left knee over your right and bring your right heel in towards your sitting bone, and you're going to twist to your left, twisting the other way. And again, release all around the glute, the hip, making this less about the twist and more just about the softening of the tissue of the lower body after that stability, that activation practice. Couple more deep breaths here. And then come back to centre and just extend the legs out again. And then just come and sit comfortably. Notice what you've learned from your practice. Wonderful. Thank you for your time, your energy, your commitment. Thank you very much, everybody.